if I start with the mindset of getting somebody in the right mindset of believing in themselves, of knowing who they are, of having confidence in themselves, then whatever I teach them or somebody else teaches them, like it doesn't even have to come from me, but whatever is introduced to them in their journey, they'll take that information, they'll utilize it in moving forward. We as actors, we get in this belief or this, narrative that, so and so, somebody who's successful studied here, and so that must be the technique or the method to study because it worked for them, or this person studied there. And then there's people who have succeeded who haven't studied anywhere. They just jumped in and learned and have continued to build in their career. And so what it just kind of clicked for me is that, we can jump around to all these different studios or techniques and things like that. But what separates those who succeed from those who don't succeed? And what I've come to find is, again, in any area of life, it's mindset. And depending on your mindset and what your beliefs are, determine the outcome more so than anything else, than even just physical, action of doing things. So I just realized, what if I started implementing that into my coachings with my clients, and more so starting off where I used to start off with the techniques of acting, of, being in your body, being in your breath, listening, and forgetting about the script and all that stuff, which are very important still. But if you don't have the right mindset, and when this clicked for me, I had this flashback to the past 10 years of teaching, that if you don't have the right mindset, it's an uphill battle the whole time. And I could go on for days of the stories of working with an individual who's very just even naturally talented, and they're always doubting themselves, and they're always looking for validation from me, from their classmates, from directors, from casting directors. Like, so many of my conversations when I'm coaching come in and around this, needing to understand, like, what does the casting director want? What does the director want? Like, and we've all been there as actors. Like, we go in we get an audition, and we're like, if I could just figure out what they want, I'll do it, and I'll nail it and I'll be successful. I'll book the job, whatever it is. And I'm sure you've heard people say, just be you, just be you. But if we don't have confidence in ourselves, if we don't know who we are, then telling somebody to just be you is like, what does that mean? So I kind of realized that, like, if I start with the mindset of getting somebody in the right mindset of believing in themselves, of knowing who they are, of having confidence in themselves, then whatever I teach them or somebody else teaches them, like, it doesn't even have to come from me, but whatever is introduced to them in their journey, they'll take that information, they'll utilize it in moving forward, because they know they deserve success. They know they deserve happiness. They deserve love. They deserve money. And that's why, if you look at the many people in this, in the money world, people talk about this all the time about, like, look how many people win the lottery. And then I think the average is within 3 years, no matter how much money they win, $100 million to, $1 million, whatever. No matter how much money they win, within 3 years, they're in a worse financial position than they were before they won the lottery. And it's the same thing with acting and with being a professional actor in Hollywood, or New York, or when I say Hollywood, I mean the global professional acting industry. So just so you know, but I just found it interesting that I know so many actors that have jumped around for years, including myself, jumped around looking for that magic potion of, well, if I study Stella Adler, if I study, Chekhov, if I study, this studio, that studio, whatever it is, like, or if I get better, the right headshot or whatever it is. But even in reflecting my own life and career, I've realized that I've had some amazing opportunities come along, especially early on when I first started, and I sabotaged it. I literally was in my first acting class in LA, and I remember, I don't know, and it was a Meisner class, which it didn't make sense to me at the time. Like years later, it clicked. I was like, oh, that's what all the techniques are for, or the games and everything. But I remember, like, after class one night, walking out and pulling my teacher aside, and I said, hey man, I just want you to be brutally honest with me. Am I any good? Because if not, like, if I'm not, I need to rethink this thing. And I remember he just like was, Brent, man, he's like, you're fine, like you're learning, like you're good. And I couldn't hear him because of all my insecurities and everything else. And if I could go back to my younger self then, man, like the things I would say is like is actually what this and how I teach is all about, is like going back to my a lot of people didn't get in. I'm sorry about that. Is going back to my younger self and saying what I would say to them. And so, or him, them. Anyways, my point to all this is that I realized is that mindset is the foundation of everything, because you could take someone with a mindset that says, I don't believe in myself. I don't believe in, I deserve success. I don't believe I deserve happiness. I don't believe I could be a successful actor. I don't believe that I can make money as an actor. And you can give them all the opportunities, and they will find a way to sabotage it.